This is our office.
Here's the corny question. What do you love about the job?
It's thinking man's medicine, you know. It's not just, all right, what's clinically wrong with you and, you know, what do I have in my bag of drugs or bag of skills or equipment to fix that? It's also like, how am I going to get you off that floor? How am I going to get you out of that car?
I think there was, when I walked into it, there was a lot of things I thought I'd love, but really the main thing I love is the people, and I really like the patients we see as well. Everyone's so different and they just invite you into their homes and suddenly you know everything about them, and I don't think there's any other job that you get to do that.
You can never stop learning, and you never reach that saturation point in the job where you go, I've got this. I know everything there is to know.
How many babies have you delivered in the ambulance?
In my 15 years, I've delivered 6 babies and there's never been one in the back of an ambulance.
Good choice.
I haven't actually never in 23 years delivered a baby in the back of the ambulance. I've managed to call it right, so as we either deliver at home or we deliver at hospital. There's no in between.
What's one thing a paramedic does that people would be most surprised about?
I think walking into this job, I thought that we'd be doing a lot more, be running and saving people's lives, but I think people will be really surprised at how many times you go to a patient's house and you're there as a bit of a problem solver.
We're maybe organising a follow-up GP appointment, or we're
Feeding the dog
before we leave, you know, and making sure the house is locked up, and ringing the family member in Victoria to know that they're aware that Grandma's going to hospital.
What is the most impressive piece of equipment on the ambulance?
Recent times it's been the addition of the striker stretcher. They just make our lives a lot easier with manual labour and lifting, because they do it all for us. They're powered. And it's also safer for our patients too, because there's less chance of us dropping stretchers or an injury to the patients that way or to us. So.
I'm partial to the manga elk. I love it.
Just the air cushion that gets people off the ground, It'll sound lame. I reckon it's the monitor. That thing can tell you when someone's having a heart attack. Like, I think that's pretty impressive. You can take your blood pressure, oxygen saturation, and look at your heart. We just view it as a heavy lump of coal that we have to drag into every job. But when you really think about it, there's so much technology in there.
Why did you want to be a paramedic?
I always wanted to drive a car with sirens.
I know, I love pressing the button. That's what was my favourite thing. I loved pressing the button, and then because you'd always get a job straight away.
You
What's
never
it
know
going
what's going to
to
be
be?
next.
Simply because I wanted to help people. The job allows us to go out every day and just help people in many different ways.
Oh, on top of that, you get to help people. Like, I guess there's that.
Are there any cases that made you feel good about making a difference?
Just being kind and holding their hand and saying it's okay. That's my favourite. I love that.
Changing the patient out of their wet clothes, and just those little add-on things that are the things I think make you at the end of the job go, I made a difference.
Recently I went to a case where some elderly people rolled their car and it took some time to get them out of the vehicle. Basically all I was required to do was sit with them. They weren't injured at all, and I just had to sit with these patients for a little while. And the elderly gentleman said to me after the job that just me sitting there and being with him made him feel safe and happy and relaxed.
How do you think we support each other in the job?
From what I've seen here, the
Support me.
support's quite good. So, particularly after big jobs, you know, it starts at the hospital. Everyone, you know, you hear the pre-notification on the radio, you know, a big job's coming in. So by the time the ambulance pulls up, there's paramedics there with oxygen bottles waiting to help you in. As the patient's going into resus, people are already starting to clean and restock your car.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. I think it's so nice.